Varkey Periyappurathu, 29 years of age, the eldest of three, a senior engineer at a major aerospace and defense company, father to a 2-year-old daughter, and a husband of almost 4 years, catechist, entrepreneur, and an underachiever in comparison. With a speech title, The Man with the Long Last Name, please welcome Toastmaster Periyappurathu.
All right.
Good morning, my fellow Toastmasters and guests. I had a couple opportunities to change my name to Varkey Francis and lose the long last name. I even considered just replacing Periyappurathu with the phrase long last name. Because people just use it so often, might as well make it official. It was back in 2008 when I first got my passport as a 13-year-old that I realized I have a long last name. Up until then, I had only been addressed as Varkey Francis. I know I was named after my now late grandfather, T.V. Varkey, and my father, Francis Varkey Periyappurathu. My grandfather basically raised me more than my dad until he passed away. Even while I grew up in Kerala, a state in India, almost the size of New Jersey, but the population the size of Canada, I was only addressed as Varkey Francis. I know almost always when people would read my name, even back in India, they would double check whether I had mistakenly put down my last name, or whether it was my official name, or if I preferred a nickname, because it wasn't common. Some kids, who were just being kids, used to mock me, calling me names that rhymed with mine, but was demeaning, disrespectful, or silly. For example, Perky, which translates to scavenger, or Kirki, which translates to a lunatic. I had learned to brush it off and ignore those things, but used to wonder what my name meant. Then one day, I met a Catholic priest who touched me, in a good way. He explained to me the origins of my name, which turned out to be a variant from Varghese, which is a local adaptation of the Syrian Aramaic name, which refers to Saint George. I hope you're familiar with the legend of Saint George and the dragon. If not, look it up. It's pretty fascinating. So I grew up in our family's ancestral home, and my dad is 7th of 8 children. So as you can imagine, I have a lot of cousins on my dad's side. But I have even more on my mom's side, mostly because she's the 10th of 12. Apparently, back in the day, it was normal to try for as many as you can because you never knew how many of them would survive till adulthood. So where was I going with this? Did you know if you just go back 10 generations, 8,000 people had to meet and mate in order for you to be born? A lot of history in our culture was retained and shared through oral traditions, legends, myths, and such. Here's so far what I've gathered from all the narratives. My ancestors were baptized by St. Thomas, one of the original 12 disciples of Jesus Christ, during his missionary journey in India. My last name, Periyappurathu, means of the big place or town, because my ancestors apparently founded a town called Periyappuram, which literally means the big place or town. Funny enough, the village I grew up in had about 1,000 families that could directly trace their ancestry to the same point. People say that your name is usually your favorite word to hear others use. In my experience, the context of where it is used, why it is used, and how it is used matters more. The survival of the world is mostly dependent on the shades of trees, those that were planted by people who never got to enjoy them. I hope and pray that each and everyone here is able to build and leave a great legacy. I am Varkey Francis Periyappurathu. I know it might sound scary, but say it with me. Varkey Francis Periyappurathu. My life goal is to create a legacy that my descendants can be proud of for centuries down the road. Assuming there will be a world left after the flat earth ice wall is destroyed by the lizard people with their space lasers, when the global flood happens and we run out of clean air and resources to feed the population, during the Armageddon with the simultaneous attack of the Walking Dead. Regardless, I own my identity as the man with the long last name. Thank you.
Well done.